Have you ever opened an Amazon order history file only to feel completely overwhelmed by trying to separate your personal expenses or your personal purchases from your business expenses? Been there, done that. Let me show you how to simplify formatting all of that data so that it makes a lot more sense, whether it's for yourself or for your bookkeeper who's helping you to get caught up and finalize your financial transactions so you can prepare your tax return, or have her prepare the tax return for you. Using Google Sheets or Excel, that is exactly what I'm going to show you today. In the last video, I showed you how to request the data from Amazon. I also showed you how long it was going to take you and what to do to download the data and what files to then access. So today, we're going to continue. We're going to take it to the next level, and I'm going to show you how to format all of that data, all of that information that you get so that you can focus on the business transactions that you need in order to then finalize your financials so that you can prepare your tax return in a timely manner, and of course, with the right data. Today's training will be a step-by-step tutorial, whether you're a small business owner or a bookkeeper who has clients that may have these types of transactions. I just want to give you a few tips and tricks that will make it a lot more efficient, faster, and focused. Let's go over to my desktop. In a previous video, I showed you how to export and download the data that you want from Amazon order history. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you're going to get a bunch of different files, and I showed you that the file that you're actually looking for will be inside of this folder called retail.orderhistory.1. So we're going to go ahead and locate the CSV file. In this video, I'm going to show you how to upload that file into Google Sheets, how to convert from CSV to Google Sheet, and then I'm going to show you how to format it so that you get to see the data that you actually want to see, as opposed to all of the historical data that will be from the original. Like, let's say you've been using Amazon, like in my case, my orders go all the way back to 2012, and we don't want that. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to upload it right now. All right, so again, locate the folder that you want to upload it to. In this case, I already have the file, but I purposely left it as an Excel because I want to show you how to convert it to a Google Sheet. But let me start from the beginning. We've located the file that we want to upload into our Google Sheet file. Here I am in the folder that I'm going to want to import that file, that CSV file, into. I click on New. I select the file upload, your orders, retail.orderhistory.1, and I'm going to click on the retail.orderhistory.1 CSV file. That's going to import it into my designated folder, and as you can see on the screen, you can see that it says Retail Order History and it says still CSV. I'm going to double click on that and open the file. It's going to look something like this, where on the top you should be able to see open with. I'm going to drill down on that down arrow and I'm going to select Google Sheets. Once this file gets open, I want to draw your attention to this file. I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to escape, and if I refresh, but I don't need to do it, you can see that that file is already showing up here. That just means that it converted from the retail order history CSV file. When I selected open with Google Sheets, it's already as a Google Sheet. Now, let's say that you somehow imported it and you didn't see that option to open the file with Google Sheets. I want to show you how you would actually convert it. So I'm going to open this Excel file, and then I'm going to locate the file in the menu. I'm going to scroll to where it says Save as Google Sheets. That's already converting it, and you see the icon changed. Let me go and show you that. This says .xlsx, which is an Excel file. That's no longer here. If I go to my folder, you see I have to refresh for that Excel file still showing up. I have to refresh in order for that file, the Google Sheet file, to show up. But the one that we're going to be working on is this one. I want to make sure that you just continue to keep your records very clean. So a best practice is to just highlight the file you're not going to be using, right click, and move it to trash. That way there's absolutely no mistaking that you're going to be using the wrong file. And if I wanted to, I can just close up these as well. And let me just go to the retail order history. This is going to have everything from inception. You don't want all of that. So let me give you some best practices on how you can format your data so that you can just use the current period. In this case, we're going to focus on selecting the 2024 historical data only. Let's say you only want for the month, then you would focus on that. For purposes of this video training, I'm going to show you how to filter your data so that you can delete everything that you're not going to use, and that will leave you with what you will be using. In this particular case, I'm just going to click on the first row. I'm going to locate this little filter. It says create filter, and just by clicking that, it's giving me these little line items, which this is going to allow me to filter by the period that I want to keep, or filter by the period that I want to delete. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that. First, let's start by freezing the row. I'm on row 1. I'm going to come up here to view, freeze, and up to row 1. Now, the nice thing about the way that the Amazon data shows up is it's already in historical data. And again, I mentioned to you that we want to keep 2024 only. So in this particular case, I can see that 2024 is right here, and I can even just highlight it. I can scroll down and see that, oh yeah, there's quite a bit, but I also know that I don't want to keep anything before 2024. So I'm going to highlight that, and I will show you why that's important in just a moment. I just went ahead and highlighted 2024, and sometimes for best practices, I usually will keep the first transactions. You see how this says January? I'll use a few of those because a lot of times I will place the order at the end of December 2024, but the transaction didn't clear on my credit card statement until the first few days of January. I will keep those as well, and I'm going to highlight it the same color as all the other 2024 transactions. Now I'm going to go to my filter, and you see where it says filter by color, okay? And it says none or filter. You see how it says white and yellow? If I select the yellow, all that shows up is my yellow transactions. And if I wanted to, I could just be done. I could make a copy of this and we're good to go. All right. Or what I'm going to show you is I want to filter by white, and I just want to double check. I don't want the yellows checked. You see that? If I scroll down, you can see none of the yellow highlights are there. All right, that is one thing that you can do. And when you see this little funnel, you know that you're sorting by that column. Let's just leave this alone for a moment. We're going to say none. Everything's going to show up. This is a best practice. At this point, we haven't deleted anything. We've just highlighted. We're going to make a copy. We're going to go to the tab and we're going to say duplicate. And this is just a really good best practice. You always want to make a copy of your original data. You want to leave your original there. And I like to just name it original. That way I know maybe I make a mistake with some of my sorting. I don't need to go through the uploading and formatting or saving it as a Google Sheet again. I just know that I have a copy. The other thing that I do is I like to give it a color, this bright blue, so that I know that I'm always working in my copy file. Going back to the filter, now I know that my original data is there. I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to work in the copy file. I'm going to select the order date. I'm going to click on the filter. I'm going to drill down the filter by color, and I'm going to say white. Now I'm going to delete. I'm going to go to the very first row of all the transactions that are not highlighted, and I'm just quickly going to the very bottom. All I did was hold the shift key, scroll all the way down, and now I'm going to right click and delete selected rows. You can also do it this way, edit and then delete. Okay, selected rows. That's the long way to do it. Everything's done. Everything's gone, as you can see. After I have just deleted all those rows, when you go back to filter, because you want to show the yellow highlighted one, you will see that if you go filter by color, this is dim. That is because there's no other color. You're gonna just say click on none, and here are all your highlighted transactions. These are the transactions that you want for the current year. Your header is frozen, and now we're going to pay attention to this data. A couple of other things, best practices. The columns that you want to pay attention to are your order date. So a lot of times what I like to do is I like to highlight them. So let me go ahead and do something like this, orange. The other one is total owed. Here you go. You just get so much data, it gets overwhelming. Let's continue to highlight the columns that you need to pay attention to. The other one is going to be this one, shipment item total. If you can't really see it, you can always wrap it. Come over here to the menu and select the text wrapping, and you can expand. You see I'm just kind of hovering over until I see this little arrow up and down, and I'm just making it a little bit bigger so that I can wrap my text. There you go. And we're going to do the exact same thing. You can also hover over this pane format. That means that it, it's just going to copy the format that you have here. So again, I'm just going to highlight these two columns. There's one more that I want to show you. And then for this one, you have to scroll to the right, and it is the product name. Let's go ahead and wrap that one as well. Let's go ahead and drill down, wrap it, and highlight it. And this is all helpful for when you are ready to either do a lot of copying and pasting or importing the information into your QuickBooks or whatever accounting system that you're using. You're going to need this. The product name gives you a description of what it is, and it also helps you to categorize it. All right, so now that you have the 5 columns that you will need to pay attention to, you can go ahead and hide a lot of other things that you're not going to need, or you could minimize it. I usually like to hide them, so what I do is I hold down the shift key and I highlight the columns that I'm not going to use. And so in this particular case, I don't want a lot of these. I'm not going to have you watch me hide all of these, but I want to get to the point where you need to format the data a little bit more so you can focus on having the data that you need for your credit card statement that is for your business or for your different businesses. All right, I'm back. So as you can see, I've got the 5 columns that I'm definitely going to want to keep in order to bring that into my QuickBooks or whatever accounting system that you're using for your bookkeeping for your business. But I've left a couple of things here. Usually I do like the quantity showing because I like to put that in my memo if I need it. The product name gives me a good description. This helps me to categorize based on the chart of accounts or your account name to categorize the type of expense that it is. I will usually come here and put like the expense account name or number. And I do that because that should be coming straight from your bookkeeping system and it'll help to navigate. I will very quickly go through that and know that most of the charges are something for either like supplies, office equipment, expenses. There's probably usually only like 5 or 6 categories. But I want to make sure that I show you this. This right here, the different credit cards that are used or the different numbers, this is what will tell me what were the purchases for the different businesses that I have. In this case, the 2 cards that I'm looking for are the one that end with 1006, that is for the Airbnb business, or the one that ends with 7648. That is a business, and in this particular case, that's about it. For the most part, everything else is a personal expense. And so we go back to our filter. Remember, you just click on the column that you want to filter by, and in this particular case, I'm going to clear all, and I'm just going to select the ones that say 1006. As you can see, that's the account that I use to make most of my charges. Everything else doesn't matter because I'm more concerned with all of these charges because this is what needs to be entered, or this is what I need to hand over to my bookkeeper in order for her to update all of the records by month. That is the other thing. This is being reported in descending order. That means from December scrolling down to February. So right now I'm going to highlight this a different color. Let's do that blue, because this is where, again, I want to make sure that I give some instructions to my bookkeeper, and here is where we're going to fill out the expense, but I don't want this overriding on the column. So this whole column, I'm just going to highlight this column X. I'm going to come over here to my menu and again go down to the down arrow and select the wrap, and that is just going to automatically format it for me, so then I have a little bit more room. Again, this may take a little bit of work, but once you know your 3 or 4 or 5 different accounts, you just copy and paste. I just want to show you how to format all that data that comes every time that you ask Amazon to send you orders, that order history file. It is going to send you everything. You don't want everything. You just want what you need for the period of time or for the credit card that you use for your business expenses. I hope that you can see how valuable this is. Now let me go back to the file that I had already prepared, and you can see that I have shown a lot of different columns here. Most of the time the Amazon charges hit your account based on when it was shipped. It may show up on your credit card using a lot of different amounts for something that you got on the same date. And that's why this becomes so powerful, because you have all the information that you need. I left a few columns exposed just so that you could see I don't need any of them. I really, sometimes the ship date is kind of like the same date, and I know that I placed the order on the same date, but depending on when it was really shipped or where it was shipped from, those charges may show up on your credit card a little bit differently. And the product name, that's like it goes in the memo. of your transaction. And that's all there is to it. You hand this over to your bookkeeper and she'll be able to reconcile your credit card, have all of your Amazon purchases categorized correctly. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any specific questions about what I've just shown you, please go ahead and put them in the comments of this video and I will be sure to answer them as soon as I possibly can. And that's all there is to it. I know it seems like a lot, but if you just follow these step-by-step instructions and use the filter's your best friend, just a few best practices to keep you organized and not drive you crazy when it comes time to preparing your purchasing, your expenses for your businesses come tax time. Now that you have formatted all of those Amazon purchases for the tax year, you're one step closer to having a tax-free tax season. Is that possible? Sure it is. Watch the next video that's coming up on your screen to continue to know how to start, run, and grow a profitable bookkeeping business. I'm Veronica Sagastumi of the Bookkeeping Shop. Until next time, bye for now.